सबको मेरा नमस्कार. This is International Master and FIDE Senior Trainer Sekhar Sahu. Welcomes you on behalf of Sports Authority of Gujarat and Gujarat State Chess Association to this intermediate training session. I will continue with my topic, how to play Sicilian defense with white and black. Today I will focus on Sicilian Kahn or Paulsen. Kahn, they call Kahn Paulsen, Taimano, for the white side. Okay, let's have a look at this position. I suggested you yesterday. It is black to play and win. Okay, let's see how many of you have given the answer. Hmm. Yeah, all right. So Veerabhadra Singh, Ramakrishna, Tanmay Azvera, Ivan Visalsa, Bastal Parikh, Paris Kumar, Suresh Bhai Chawda, Kishav Shah, all are welcome. So what is the answer for this diagram? Please find out. Find out about it. Paris Kumar, answer is correct. Look into B3, exchange sacrifice with a clear cut forcing. Now, there is a check which if he cannot stop it because queen is tied down to the B2 point. So if he stops, then there is a mate. Whatever do, it is lost. So I will leave this. Yeah. So let's go to the next one. What is the answer for this one? So if Paris Kumar says it is a win, so can you show the win? Can you show me? Can you write how it is winning? Can you write it? Give the answer. How many say it is a win? Please give the answer. Any other answer? Anybody else? Hello, Swam Das, welcome. So this is white to play, and he says king e3. No, it is white to play. White to play. White will play move like king. King. It is a draw. That is why I gave it is a draw. Black cannot win. Black cannot win. Now you give a check because there is no check position. So you give a check here, but then king no check position. I want to push the pawn and draw. You cannot stop. So this is a draw. When you give a check, this is a draw. But I will tell you in this position, white to play. If white plays king here, it is lost. If you play king here, it is lost because I will play queen, and it is a theoretical. The pawn is pinned now. You can't come. The king will come. You push the pawn queen, or you bring the king. Then king is coming closer. So this g7 loses. King e7 draw. You cannot reach to the diagonal. You cannot reach. And if you attack, the pawn is coming. So it is a draw only, no win. Hello Ramakrishna. So so this is this is actually draw. King here loses. If king g7, white loses the game because simple queen. So he will come king and then you play queen. It is check draw. It is you cannot reach. You cannot reach. Now you attack. Now whatever you do, I am seventh rank. Draw only. Now if you attack, the pawn is going. Now if you come here, I will attack. You just keep repeating. You give a check, I come. Now you have to make progress, but enough. Enough to draw. Okay. Okay. What is that? Ramakrishna. And on the last question, you are winning. You should not give a check. Okay, how are you winning, Ramakrishna? I play king. So how it is winning? It's a draw. Okay. If kg7, the black wins. This is a mistake. The pin and win. Unfortunately, two tempo. He will lose two vital tempo. All right. So, all right. Going to the next one. Now, today I want to discuss basically. You are not convinced. Okay, I will discuss. See, for example, now you have to give a check. This does not help. This does not help. Now you give a check, or yeah, this is, and you have to make progress. And now draw. You give a check. You attack king, and this is a well-known position in draw. Cannot take the pawn. Okay, so today e4 c5, knight f3 e6, d4 cd and d4. Now black has two choice. This is Taiwanov and this is Khan also. People call Khan, people call Paulsen. This is solid, but compared to Nasdaq and Dragon, this is a bit passive comparatively. But it is very popular. It is seen frequently top level. I want to discuss how to play with white pieces. White has various setups. Black has various setups. For example, black can play queen c7. This is d4 a6. Now Why I recommend bishop d3. This is little better because you are ready to castle. Now I will discuss how many type of position can come. So variation 1, queen c7, or he can play here g6. The fifth pawn move. This is variation 2. Variation 3. Okay. Then variation 4. I can attack, he can go back, he can go here. This is the fourth variation. Now, variation 5. Now you cannot push. Queen f5 check is there. This is fifth variation. Other than that, he can also play some b5. Bishop d3, b5. Variation 6. Sixth variation. So on d3, he can play. I think these are the six variations I will discuss. Because after b5 and castle, then queen comes. This is the part of the variation. This is a part of the variation. So I will discuss six possibility, and in some variations he can play also bishop d3, and he can play also. I mean, he can play knight f6 variation. There is a sub variation like d6, and then he can play also g6, targeting bishop g7 and d4 knight. So I will discuss all these six variations and give you only model suggestion. Okay, I can give you some games also. Okay, I organized a camp, I think 2007, so or 2010, I'm not sure. I organized a camp where I had prepared in the for the camp this particular positions. Also, I will discuss this time on. Also, I will discuss time on. Okay, first discuss A6. Time on, maybe I will discuss in the afternoon class. Today, both the sessions will go on this because the six variations, but it is popular and it is not easy. So I will have to clear your all queries and doubts. Now the position BD3, this is not Maragji bind. You know, Paris Bhai says, what he says that, no, it will not be Maragji bind. You know, basically, ये जो है BD3, now you play something like knight f6. Now this is not Maragji bind position. Maragji bind means now bind will be broken. So if you want to play b4, you should play right away c4. But anyway, this is not the Maragji bind position. Anyway, Maragji bind means when the pawn is on d6. Yeah. So let us see. one by one. Okay, bishop d3. This is more aggressive because white is ready to castle. So, and it will have a lead in development also. And bishop is in the right place for attack. When a future castle king, he will look at h7. Preparing to play knight f6. Now is now, of course, knight f6 is possible now. So this is a very flexible line. He can play b5. He can play knight f6, knight c6. Now he wants to avoid some pawn weaknesses. So going very slowly. Knight d7 is possible. c4. Now knight c3 and f4. White is better. White has more space and better center. Now the e5 threat is coming. Is giving a threat of e5. I think e5 is not correct now. The reason is that after e5, he can gun this point, target this point, take and knight c5. So f5 is a good move. Now e5 is not problem. White is little better. He cannot accept that he will lose the piece. And now queen has to move to somewhere to b8. It is bad. Now accepting the piece, it is bad. Now, now I will get the piece back anyway. Not bishop, not this pin, which is not effective, but double attack. Now I will cement that pawn will be protected. Double attack, and you cannot take it. Now bishop does not work. I will take. Okay, so this does not work anymore. So he has to come with clear battle. The king is in trouble. Not defendable. This position is not defendable. Okay, so you can see that I have sold this all I analyzed for a camp because in those days there was lot of popularity about this line and some students requested, so I worked my analysis only. I have worked out at the contemporary theory, but here the theory is less, the method is only important. I'm not giving reference to games, I am only giving the ideas here. Now this position, even though white is a piece down, it is very badly placed. Rook for two pieces, it is very badly placed. Blocking. This is bad. So he should not play e5 here and d5. And this is bad. There is needless to tell. This is a bad position because here then this pawn is too much. Rook will come seventh rank. It is just bad. So here e5 is bad. Taking knight is bad. Okay, whatever you do, it is bad. That's why in this position, when you play here, take, you should not play e5. You should come the first pawn into pawn. Anyway, knight will enter. But now the additional open line, because this line will open up for the queen. So you cannot accept that. If you accept it, then again the additional threat will come. I can even play nd5 and then sack rook into knight. This is not possible now. Now bishop d7, you can hit it. The check is killing. So you cannot accept that knight, and here he has to play some queen c8. And now the same pressure, you cannot accept the knight, you will lose the piece back. c7, he is giving a serious threat. Note on c7. Okay, this is also losing. Winning for black. White. Only move. Pawn n2 will allow a deadly check. A deadly check will come. So I get the piece back and better game. Bishop into knight wins. Bishop into e6, f e6. So it turns out that he cannot really grab your piece. So ये जो है मैं उसको थोड़ा छोटा कर देता हूँ. Anybody can take a photograph because you cannot write so quickly. Also, I will zoom it less. 30 अभी इसको 30 में ले जाएंगे. ये ठीक रहेगा. ये ठीक रहेगा इतना. So if you want, you can take a photograph. ND7 does not work. Force. E5 is bad. Knight e6. Gf5 is bad. That means after BD7 is the only move. But then in that case, white will play King H1. A safe move. Before playing F4, I want to play F4 and E5, F5. But the diagonal problem. So a precautionary move. Now knights. The point is, if you take, you are helping black. And I don't want a retreat. So aapko maro. You take, my center will be. And next move I will prepare F4. White on top. All this analysis is based on all top class classical player games. I have analyzed and extracted from the examples of great players. So it is not possible for me to give me so many references. So I am just giving you the moves, the ideas. White is clearly better now. You have to stop E5. By now, all the students must be conversed that E5 is allowed, then it is very bad for black. Free attack will come. So you have to do take, and now bishop. Now I want to my last minor piece. I want to attack. Of course, I want to plan for the attack, but bishop here, then attack is very powerful. I cannot waste it. You see, if you want to attack, one move counts. You cannot play knight f3, bd2, c3, too slow. So b3, bb2 will bring a deadly attack. Of course, e5. Space. Now, you should not give counterplay. You know, you will try to win bishop into knight, then bb2, counterplay will come. So, even though now you can see the diagram, both rooks are ready to come. The bishop is watching the sensitive h7 square. The bishop is now very important square, and both rooks are ready. Rook e1, rook e3, or rook f1, rook f3. The position is plus minus. And there is no counterplay easily available. There is no counterplay. For example, this is probably the best move. If you delay, maybe I will play a4, maybe I will play rook f3, and I will not give a second chance. I will save the bishop. Only move rather. So, okay, there are other moves that will lead to bad things. You can play a move like that. This will lead to bad. So I will take, and this is bad. Bad position. So you need to exchange this deadly attacking. So bishop here. The final chance. So I bring f5. So you will play. Of course, you cannot allow a fracture. तोड़ फोड़ कर देगा कैसल को. So you cannot. अभी दूसरा रुक आ जाएगा. कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. Now white space and open line and center. Space for maneuvering, central control, and also activity of pieces. And apart from that, a d5 weakness. ये नहीं बचेगा. The bishop doing nothing now. So regrouping the bishop. He dare not take it. Bishop takes pawn, the rook will come. Finish. Bishop takes pawn, rook h5 will win the piece. I would say the position is plus minus. Will not be able to defend it. Okay. So if you like, you take a snap quickly. Okay, I will make it zoom further less. इसको 24-25 कर देता हूँ. 26 कर दूं. Okay. I think this will be all right. So if you want to take a picture quickly, so I will give around 25-30 variations. Okay, no problem. Okay, what I will do. So अभी अभी क्या करेंगे. ओके, जाने दो. ये जो है वीडियो से आप देख लो. वीडियो से आप देख सकते हो. सो आई लीव दिस. ऑल राइट. तो कुछ फायदा नहीं होता है. व्हाट टू डू. So maybe I'll go back to what I have done. I will do leave this. Okay, I'll leave this. Second variation. Hello, Dr. Senapati. Good morning. Okay. This is this is the easiest way to take advantage. Do not retreat. Do not retreat knight to b3. Otherwise, next e5. If you delay, then e5 is coming. So you have to play this d5. Now it is not a good idea to play e5 now. You will have a superior French variation. Black will play a superior French structure. So we should attack the point. c4. I want to put pressure. In the World Championship match, Spassky, Petrosian Spassky, 1966, I think what Spassky played this move, which is not good. Giving a easy game for easy game. He will not take. If you play, black will not help you by taking the pawn. So Fischer's move, c4. Other move I will discuss here. I will discuss this. What happens? This I will discuss. Suppose here d5 is c4 and this is bad. I will I will play e5. I will discuss that. So for example, now you place here d4, e5 is good. Space. कसर आ गया अभी, नाइट F5 नहीं आ रहा है. दिस इज exclam, exclam plus bishop into H6 threat. Okay, you don't have to take it. You do not have to take it, but you defend. Now I am going to, if you do not take, I will come here. So he plays bishop takes pawn, tempo, and now bishop into, this is a awful pawn structure. Abhi, he cannot castle into such a bad situation. Inviting mate. Now this is just bad. अभी C6 को डिफेंड करते रहो, कुछ भी नहीं बचा. Okay, you can play rook C8. You can play rook C8, and then I will play knight take, and then दूसरा rook आए. Anyway, it is gone. So it is bad position. No life. That is why he plays some rook, but rook into pawn. And now you cannot text. You cannot accept that exchange. Horrible position is coming. तो सब पीछे जाओ. अभी क्या करेंगे इसको? रुक आओ. Disaster. So you can see you cannot play E5. E5 is ruled out. E5 is ruled out here. D4 को E5 ये नहीं खेल सकता. D4 को E5 आ जाता है. So here the other variation. Suppose pawn into pawn. Idea to keep the C file closed. Bishop takes, and this position there are weaknesses. Center. So white has got also queenside majority. Queenside majority. So it is you have to play technical chess. You cannot avoid. Bishop will come. Rook. Oh, this is bad. This is going to turn out bad. There is a danger. Now knight into pawn is a direct threat. Now knight into pawn is a direct threat. So if you defend, now the position there are these two, apart from these two weaknesses, this is also a problem. Excuse me. Position is plus for white. Okay. So we go to the next one. After NF6, the correct move is to play pawn into this pawn into. This is, I am actually quoting the Fischer-Spassky game. 19 no Fischer-Petrosian game. 1971. Now if you play knight into pawn, this will turn out also bad, because white will try to exploit the pin bishop here. With the idea, he wants to bring the queen, then rook and knight. How are you going to avoid this variation? How are you going to avoid? If you bring here, anyway I will play queen, threatening RD1. So this will turn out badly, and apart from 2-1 majority, apart from queenside pawn majority, lead in development, and threat is coming now. So he this is the plan. If you play pawn into, then you have center but a weak pawn. Rook. And this ending is unattractive. The only move now. This kind of structure, no counterplay. There is less weaknesses in white camp. White has two pawn island, black has three pawn island. Pawn island means, this is a pawn island. No other pawn, a pawn island. These are one pawn. So three island, black has two island. So additional problem for black. He will play rook d1. Now we will need to exchange the bishop, because in this particular position, this is a good bishop and this is a bad bishop. So if you exchange these bishops, no, if you exchange these bishops, it is favorable for white, because then these squares will be in his control. So he prepares for that. Plus, the position is plus minus. I can give the reference to the game. White is Bobby Fischer and black is Tigran Petrosyan. Maybe I show the full game, because it is necessary that sometimes I have to show the full game. अरे है ही नहीं, ये रहेगा. Maybe somewhere I have missed. Maybe here somewhere. I think I have not saved that in the data. I will show that game later. So ये गेम में ऐसा नहीं हुआ था. गेम में ऐसा नहीं, इसलिए नहीं दिखा रहा है. So here knight f6. This is better for white. He took with the pawn, I think. He took with the pawn. That is why it is not showing. His Petrosian took with the pawn. Now it will come. Yeah. The game continued. Knight check to keep the king in center. Now queen d7. It is bishop d7. He will play queen d4. Attack. This is what the problem will face. And after you come here, he will play maybe here. Bishop g5 does not work. One idea, I can play pawn b4. White is better. I can play now pawn b4, fixing the pawn. So you cannot come. I will advance. This looks advantage for white. Next, I will bring a rook to center. Play a4. White stands better. So in the game, Petrosian played queen d7. Of course, he saw, but he thought that two bishops and center pawn will give a problem. Rook e1. Immediately you can play this, but after this, black has some activity. The point is, after pawn into, queen into, black has got some activity. Now bishop b7 coming, d4, b4 coming. So black has some piece activity for the material. So here he does not take chance. I will play rook. If you play castle, queen into, anyway the piece is pinned. You can't castle. And the knight is coming with a threat. Now knight into will come with a threat. Bishop g5. So excellently. What simple moves Fischer was showing to the world. Want to exchange the thematic dark square bishop. After that, I will seize the dark squares. And now fix the pawn. The position white has majority. He will have problem with these two pawns and the square. For example, just I am showing casually the king can come. Black can stop, but at the disadvantage. He cannot free. You want to free your rook, you cannot come. So this is just now pressure again. Plus rook c5 is coming. He is sealed temporarily. King. It is like Alekhine Capablanca. Capablanca Alekhine game. Alekhine did this to Capablanca, fracturing the pawn structure. Necessary. You can't allow king activity. And now so many. The rooks are clear 7th rank. Now this is clear 7th rank. A target, a weak pawn. Technically plus minus. Threatening to come. So forced. It is actually a zugzwang position. It is a zugzwang. For example, there is no pawn. And if king moves, the rook will enter. And there is no rook move because the pawn will under pressure. No king move, no rook move. So only move. But then double rook. Check, check. Now he can resign here. The idea is to play rook there and mate. Even if you attack, I will ignore. I will play rook to g7 or gh7. Resign. There is no answer. There is no answer. Or here mate. So he is helpless. So a game that shows that the whole structure is bad. Even though if you keep the queen on the board, it is bad. Now queen a4 check and it is bad. So I will go to the next cycle, next position. What if nd7 instead of castle by black? What if nd7 instead of castle by black? Okay, I will go back to the position. So here instead of castle, he says nd7. Is this the one? Is this a game I'm talking? Are you talking of this game? No. Are you talking of this game? nd7. Yeah, this is also possible. Now c4. This will lead to Adityan. This will lead to hedgehog type of structure. Hedgehog structure. This is called hedgehog structure. So this is the main line. In fact, this is the main line actually. Is this the position you are asking? Which game you are asking? Okay, where is the ND7 has come? So there is. I don't see. I don't see which game you are referring. Okay, Fisher Petrosian game. Fisher Petrosian game. Okay, I will go to the Fisher Petrosian game. Maybe I will go from the move order so it is easier. So here, knight f6, Now pawn into pawn. So queen check, and now he says uh, queen d7. No, here this is the position you are asking. No, this is the position. E d5, e d5, e d5. This is the position you are asking. So, so you says here instead of the queen d7, you are asking n d7. N d7 simply will pick up the pawn. The d5 pawn will fall. So instead of castle, you say n d7. This is bad. The reason is the knight from center, it is leaving the central post. It will turn out badly. Okay, how to exploit this? Okay, it's a good question. I will ask. My idea is to exchange the last square bishop. Okay, I will do handle. Just a minute, please. 1 second. All right. Here's the center. It is bad. Let me see. First of all, we can take seize the c5. Number one, we can seize the c5. And the next position, I can also give him trouble after f4. F4. You need to now work out on this. Now, you don't have to play f5 because f5 will weaken the e5 square. You don't need to weaken. You just play a move like maybe move like bishop d4. Bishop d4 is good. Now you better defend. This is giving additional problems. Don't weaken the squares. Don't do this. So this is just plus minus. I mean, if you castle, you cannot castle. After this, you cannot castle. And this is bad. This is obviously bad. So ND7 is not possible. Samdani and Samdani, brother, sister, welcome. Okay, I go to the next. Now we need to give a threat. Tempo. Gaining time. E5 is a threat. I want to prevent the move B5 free game. So this is a good one. Preparing knight c3, bishop and rook c1. I will also I will also discuss position in this structure. What happens when he tries to come on this point? That also I will discuss. Preventing knight e5. Now you have this is actually not that it is important bishop at the moment, but it is controlling my center. So it is precious. At the moment, I am not thinking of attack on h7, but my center is very important. So I need to save that. Plus. Accepting the pawn is very risky because take queen e5, knight c6. That is very annoying. You cannot take queen. Knight d8 also is bad. Very passive position. Rook attack. Now this is the whole point that there is no guard. You have to weaken. What else? If you play h6, then bishop f4 and then rook e1 will come. Rook e1 and rook will come for attack. So this is bad. Bad position. खत्म हो जाए. So you cannot play. You can't play there knight e8. So you have to accept that, but that is bad. Then take and play bishop. Take. This is fantastic. The black king will be continuously in under danger. Very bad position. Knight d7, then rook d1. Knight d5 also winning. Rook d1 is winning. The point is the check will not survive. Many will think that queen check will survive. Not really. Not really. I need to stop that door, baby. So here the queen will not be able to escaping. Queen c6 is not possible. Knight fork is there, the only move. But then you can play b4, and the queen is anyway trapped. Bishop c1. Knight on center. So this is bad. Queen takes pawn, knight, and take bishop, and this is just queen is under trouble. Whatever do it is a bad position. Okay, all right. I will now go to the next cycle. He cannot accept this pawn. And if after the move normal move, now queen into e5, this is bad. And if you play the knight e8, it is bad. This is a bad position. Weaknesses. There are so many weaknesses. Attack is coming. Whatever you do, it is a problematic. Now knight has to go somewhere here like that. This sacrifice will come. Now this is I don't think it is worth discussing now. The position is disaster. So it is a bad position. That means it applies this variation that after the move, this e5 is thematic and timing. Please note this. Maybe I will give a game reference so that it is easier for you instead of trying to memo record. Maybe a game reference I will give you. I don't think some game is there. It is difficult. So I believe this is I have analyzed it. Maybe 2007 for my 2007 camp I analyzed it thoroughly. So don't worry about it. The third one, fourth. Bishop d3. My recommendation, of course, knight c3 is equally good, but this is little better because you are ready to castle. This is one of the popular line. E5 is controlled. Again E5 threat. Now C4. This is the one I was talking. Instead of playing bishop E7 like last game, after B7 and C3 got advantage, he plays bishop G7, trying to put pressure on the central line. Now rook. At the moment, discover attack is not dangerous. So he comes. I am now creating threats. Okay, what else? Suppose you play knight D7, knight C5, knight C5 plan. It is not working. White is better. I want to play H3 and exchange that dark square piece. I want to focus on the pawn. So I am not going to take. Taking the knight is absolutely bad strategy. You end up, the pawn will be coming here and totally paralyzing your attack and plan. So I keep it flexible. You defend the d6 weakness. Let black defend. Defend. This is bad. If you do this, then knight d4 with the idea that f3, that g4 knight. I mean, this I am focusing on g4. This is a threat is coming. So you have to play this only move. Now further weakening. Bad position. This is bad. Now king's position is very shaky. You open up there, it will get bad to worse. Pawn into pawn. Again, I will renew the threat. Once again, the threat will come. So it turns out to be bad to play. So rook d7 is not possible. So you have to play move like pawn push. See, any other move is bad. You cannot give me d pawn. If you move, I just take it. Pick it up. So only move. Bad. Intermediary move. Position is plus minus. You cannot accept that pawn. If you take and tempo will come. So this is bad. Now knight c4 is bad. Take and bishop into pawn and some tempos will come. So it is bad. And if you play other moves like bb7, normal looking move. Once again problem. Play nd7. Now you have to play nd7. Then what will you do for queen b4? What will you do? Taking the pawn is a bit risky at the moment, but this is much better. I can take it, but I will lose the pawn also later. So this is safer. Now defend this point. Defend this point. So bb7 is not good. Knight c4 is not good. And after f6, he has to play move like rook b8. Practically the only move. Plus, white has got a plan. Black has to only wait. I don't see. You can say this is a bad move, but I don't see any other alternative which is giving any kind of activity. Black is just passive and doing nothing. So this is just a futile attempt. I would say white is better. I have left the analysis here, but I can give a model suggestion. I think we should take it. Okay. Now bring this. This must be good. This must be good. Now I want to regroup. Next plan, I will regroup my queen here and get pressure on the diagonal. Bishop is watching very nice. Very nice. So this is a good position. Okay. So this is enough for advantage. So I would say that this variation also plus. Please note that these are the lines I am recommending. This is the main line. Normally you will find this in lot of games. could move. I will not allow the maneuver now, knight coming and sitting there. White is plus. Okay. And if earlier, if you play ND7, NC5, also I discussed. Any question here? Adityan, I must tell you here, I have given this piece of advice. Never use engine. If a player is ambitious, if a player is ambitious, never use engine. I will tell you, this is a disease for many modern players. They play the tournament, immediately they come home, they feed the game to the engine. Then they say, I was plus two, I was winning. I was plus one and a half, and I was winning. It is just like the teacher gives a homework, and I am putting the calculator on and doing the answer quickly. So, with the help of the calculator, if you do the math, your math will not improve. Now, if you okay, I will tell you. Some student told me I want to play a game. I knew he was using engine. He was using engine. Now I will lose to engine. What I will lose? Magnus Carlsen. Magnus Carlsen will lose. Anand will lose. If you are using, I know the engine. It is not correct. So if you say ND7, then I will ask a question, then engine will not tell. Now is engine, suppose in the variation, rook D7, the engine will suggest some funny moves. Engine will not play rook F upon F6. Engine will play rook D7, by F6, and then you have to think how to handle. Every time you go to engine, your own creativity is gone. Using the engine is harmful. So do not use engine. So if you check with the engine, you cannot play chess. Every time engine will say, that means we are like servant to engine. Chess engine, they are good in calculation, but they are not good logical moves, not good in end game. They are not so good in end game. Whatever you feed, engine is fed with positions, maybe some millions of positions. When you give an end game, engine will check immediately from the memory, and then they will come out with the move. In many variations, engine will say pawn up is better. I can give an example. I will give you an example. E4, maybe G6, D4, BG7. Now knight F3, C5. Takes, then queen F5 check. Now knight C3. Now engine will suggest bishop into. Take. Now queen up. Material. Human players will know that weakening the king position is bad. But engine will defend. I will tell you, in a normal game, white will have a easy game. Bishop D3 castle. But engine will say this is plus. Just a minute. Too much of noise. So, for example, now engine will say black is a pawn up and better. But human player will prefer white. If you say engine, 90% of tall sacrifices are wrong. 90%, rather 95%. So it is not playable. That means Tal was a bad player. So it translates Tal was a bad player because engine says it is winning. All his sacrifices are refuted. We cannot do that. So do not use engine. If a player is interested to improve the game, you shut the engine. Never use engine. Never. I don't use engine for my analysis or preparation or training a student. I always see the data. Always see the data. So what is the strategic method? Why there are some players who plays moves only like engines? Because they might be using the engine. They might be using the engine, or they have worked very hard to use the engine preparation. Either they are using the engine, or they might have worked day and night and find out all engine move and feed to their data, and they are playing that. For example, Kasparov did not use engine, but all his grandmasters team, they might have used engine and found moves. So engine came to existence in 1990s. 1990s. And after that, the adjourn game stopped. Because if you adjourn a game, both the players will feed it to engine. It will engine analysis. So adjourn game stopped. Then FIDE decided the game must be finished in 6 hour session. Instead of 5 hour, they say you finish the game in 6 hours. So everything changed. So my advice to you, do not use engine. In my analysis, lot of things I am telling you, which will be refuted by engine. Even my good moves, I cannot show a sacrifice is coming. So please avoid using engine. Vrishti Shah, welcome. Are you now living in Gujarat or any other place? I am living in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, very much in Ahmedabad. 8 months cut off from the home. Cannot visit Mumbai, my family. Till I think another 3 4 months. Corona, Corona, Corona se mat डरो ना. So here, let us say, there are so many positions I can show you. Pawn sacrifice, human gives, but engine will say it is bad. All right, I go to the next cycle, next diagram. This is the diagram BD3 I recommend. Now there are two type of retreat. Bishop can go back with the hope that pawn is pinned. So bishop goes back. The main line nowadays is bishop to e7. Bishop stays in center. So what is the achievement? The knight from center is driven backward. So attacking chances becomes less. This is the whole idea. But this is not that black will be happy queen g4 is coming. Now you have to play. And then I should not stay. The bishop is here. So any moment these threats will come. So I come back. White is better. Obviously white better. Weaknesses. The dark square h6 g7. That means आपको एक और मूव वेस्ट करना पड़ेगा. You play d6 bishop को फिर घुमाओ. So I will come to this line, but first let us see the old line. Plazos Portis and many other grandmasters they used to play. I recommend the Smyslow's idea, I mean Karpov's idea. Queen e2 and bishop e3. Even Viswanathan Anand in a rapid game he played queen e2 and simple b3 white better. Oh, now b3 is better. Okay, what he says is no. I will tell you. Now you say b3. The point is, if there is a way to take advantage without weakening the structure, always we should try. Just a minute. We should avoid a weakness. Of course, double pawn in center in some variations are good. Some variation, for example, this variation e4 c5 knight f3. Now d6 d4 c and d4 knight f6 knight c3 knight c6. Now here replace bishop e3. Now knight g4 is a bad, not good move, threatening to double the pawn. But now bishop b5 is good. Now if you take this, the position, it will turn out not so good now. I will take bishop takes knight, pawn takes. Maybe I will play. Maybe I will just take pawn in. This position is good. This is good position because the F line open development. White has double pawn, but in return, white has got center and F file open and development. Three things. So such cases, the double pawn is acceptable. Okay. So here, this position, he plays better is c4, or alternately queen e2 and bishop e3. Queen e2, he will play d6 now. He cannot play knight f6, d6. Now I castle. Now he play knight f6. b3, white is better. This simply, I guess Karpov, Hubner or Uzo or Karpov was white and got a clear better. I will take it now. So I even now this is also good. This is also good like idea f4 if I will prepare. No, this sort of moves I will tell you. There are some players they play with the idea that I will play knight, and even if you play s3 I will ignore. The whole idea, now you want to play f4, knight g4 will immune them. Idea, suppose you play f4, knight, and now you play queen. Now you cannot dislodge the knight because pawn into a check is coming. So in such situation, it is better we play bishop. You will come. What else? You play knight here, then bishop g4. No. First I will play queen, and then with the idea bishop. Quite better. So he comes here direct. I don't see a good plan for black. The move is a weakness now. Now rook will come and open up. The now next job, I will bring the rook to the center and open it. It's bad. Rook c1 with the idea and d5. Rook d1, e1 with the idea of b5. I think this is good move. So this turns out to be bad. So here, this is not so good. Okay, after bg5 you have got better. I will leave this. Is there any deviation I have meant? Yeah, here you play h5. But instead of that, if you play e5, this is plus. There are weaknesses. Now there are weaknesses. So I will just allow no ng4. Now b is 6 and f4 white plus. Clear better. You have to now take it. Otherwise f5 is coming. Take. You can judge yourself who looks better. So this is also good. Okay. I recommend you to play queen a to b3 also. So here, so if I has been stopped, and this line I recommend very easy line. Okay. Next. I showed this already. How it is, why it is coming again and again. Maybe a different variation. Maybe a different variation. Different line. Take, and easy game. Now rook e3, rook g3, the backward d pawn. Now there are so many advantages. A backward pawn, a permanent target, and free access rook. the d5 weakness. So, and this also rook has to come into the game. It is bad. This is just a bad position. अभी डिपेंड करते रहो इसको. Now, if you play model game, I will show how you can get better of it. think I think rook c1 with the idea to play nd5, use the c5 if you capture. Rook c1 is a clearly better game. Okay, so I leave this. Bishop c5 normally the modern move is bishop e7. Now then this is not the best move. Now the play more approach is this. This is easy game. I will go to the other variation. Correct? The same thing repeat is coming. Fifth pawn move in a row. It may look funny, but it has been played and tried. In fact, suddenly you cannot get a plan easily what to do for white. Please repeat your explanation on e4 c5, knight f3 e6 d4 cd and d4 bishop c5 be3. Okay, I will show that. I will show that. I will show that. What will the future of chess player if everybody started preparing with engine? Actually, that is the main thing. Now everybody start preparing for engine. Now it is versus engine fight. Now believe me, not only preparing, they are also using the engine in their spectacle, in their ring, watch, or in the shoes. They put a small chip. Many players, I suspect, I suspect in India and abroad. Some of them are caught. Some of them are caught, but I guess 90% are not caught. I I played with a one player who was using engine, but during the game, I thought, oh my God, what a player he is! He should become a super grandmaster. If he is playing so good moves so quickly, I think he deserves to become a super grandmaster. And after his friend also beat me. Both of them were using engine, and one of them was suspended by All India Federation. But his friend got away. I don't want to name, but I will tell you, using the engine is bad. It is like making dacoity, daylight robbery. You are snatching somebody's talent and right. What is the fun? Stealing. It is cheating. So it is not correct. So using the engine is bad. You can use the analysis of engine. That is a different matter. Because a small twist, everything will change. Everything. I can, instead of playing a regular queen d2, I can play queen e2 and queen d2. So don't worry about engine. Let us go on. I will use that B3 line, Karthik Kasri. I will use that for you. You know, Karthik Kasri V3 queen, I will use it. So this is the line I recommend. The whole point is I want to exchange the dark square bishop B3 and queen D2. This is good. Now this is the whole idea. And exchanging the dark square, he will be helpless. After you take it, now queen into and then all dark square problems. Now d6 weakness. There is a weakness on king side weakness on d6 pawn, white is clearly better. Now anything is bad. I cannot say development was better, but already is busted. Finish. Play h5. Otherwise, if you play h5, it is bad. Weakening the square g5, and now you can't stop the plan. So, meeting idea. If I play h5, g5 is coming. Plus minus. No g5 possible now. Next, I will play pawn into pawn, and then pawn into pawn e5 with attack. So the whole concept that this line is also bad. Player playing g6, sixth, fifth move. You will see that player has gone. In a rapid game, I played this as a surprise. It worked very well for my opponents. Simply did not know the plan. What can you do? The main point, strategic point, I should exchange this bishop for this. Then all the squares will be weak. So how do you do that? So I play knight c3 and bishop e3. Now you want to play here, then it is bad. Knight is poorly placed. What I will do? Okay, suppose you play here, I will play queen d2 and now d5, take, and now knight into. Good. Now bf3 threat is coming. No, this is just bad. This is just bad. Now the bishop is coming. Queen is very. You cannot keep moving the queen up and down. Whatever you do, it is bad. You are free to take the pawn. Mating attack will come. So forced and bad position. The e5 pawn under attack. The queen is in a mess. Now if you defend the pawn, the queen is here. And this is in trouble. Or you push, then the queen check is coming. This is also equally bad. Correct position. So it's a bad position. Any 7 is bad. That means after knight f6, after the move d6, I will play queen d2 and this is easy game. Okay, I leave this. Now you wanted to repeat me that d3 line. I will do that. So here queen e2. I play here bishop c5. Bishop c5, nb3, bishop a7. So I will show rather the game of Anatoly Karpov. That is the best way that you understand the strategic point. Let's go to Anatoly Karpov or Viswanathan Anand. See, Anand has played so many games. Queen e2. Even Ivanchu. I think Karpov is the one who started. Karpov Hubner. Maybe one move delay. I will see. White is better. Any modern player. Anand is a modern player. So instead of making castle, goes for the action right away. This is bad. Already attack is on the way. Rook must move. Knight f8 must be cleared quickly. Now you have to move the rook, but anyway the attack will follow. The idea he wants to bring the knight for defense, but anyway the attack will come. How I will handle the attack? In this case, I would rather play knight to f3. The idea now, if you take and give me two rooks, I will happily take it. I will take it happily. Two rooks for the queen. And then next, eventually, I will have further pressure. I will play some knight d4 and then f5. So this is also not working. So he plays rook coming. He plays g6. Anyway, want to go for it. There is rook only entering. Knight into the rook only entering seventh line, doing nothing. So you have to defend first. Forced. Okay, I would say h5 you would criticize, but what move you would suggest? White has a ready-made plan. All white need to reach a knight on f6 square. You can't do anything. So he plays. This is a bad position. Anand went on to beat. So Anand has played it many times. It's knight here, queen e2, b3. This is also plus. Yeah, what is the advantage? The knight cannot harass me, and now this becomes exposed. This is bad. After rook into pawn, the a6 pawn will come in trouble. So this is also bad. Plus. बचाओ pawn को b4 pawn. Only move. Rook attack. Only move. Rook c7 falls. The a pawn falls. Advantage in endgame. The rook on a7 is very poorly placed. Better game for white. Rook d1, knight c4. I will play now. Knight c4 will come. Rook d1 will come. And that too against Kamaski in the is one of his arch rival. Forced. White is clear on top. So ये जो line है, I think that Karpo Huebner game also because that is more scientifically played in the World Junior Baguio City World Junior. I'm sure Anand has studied all those games and he has followed the strategy. Good. You take the pawn, G pawn will fall. बस इतना काफी है. I will go to Karpo game. The Karpo Huebner है 100%. As I remember, नहीं मिल रहा है, but it is there. Maybe okay. I'll leave this strategy. You understood. What is better? This also the idea is to exchange the dark square bishop. The idea is to exchange dark square bishop. Plus now you ended up with a weak d pawn and there is pressure on king side. I have completed this g6. This is I have completed. Fifth move g6. So I go to the next line. So knight f6, and this is supposed to be the main position of Paulson. Knight f6, queen c7, etc. White is clearly having a superior center. Idea, I want to plant the queen on b3. After that, rooks are connected and better space. You can play f3 also. You can play f3 also. In this case, he will play knight to e5 and get some counter play. In this case, knight e5, and maybe you can play taking the pawn is risky. Now next move I will play queen, and taking the pawn is very risky for him. Okay, I will take it and play some discover, take it, and maybe some discover attack. Idea c7 check and take it. So this is also possibility, but in the game he plays more aggressively. White, you have to play e5. हो गया काम. Now a backward pawn d6. The b6 is a target. The central square. Apart from, I am waiting for castle. So a future plan g4 g5. After castle only it is effective. And now back pawn, and this is the target. And weak square. So white stands better actually. Third attack. So I cover everything. Now if you capture, then I will have outpost. White will have outpost in return. Outpost on c6. Plus even rook's exchange, it will not solve the problem. One rook exchange, it will not solve the problem. Look at the miserable position, queen. This is a Taras formula. That means आपको एक पीस सैक करना है, क्या मिलेगा? कुछ नहीं. This is just bad. Black is doomed. और ये फाइल पे कुछ नहीं है. There is nothing on the file for him. So this is plus. I am only showing you positions. I cannot show you entire game. And all this is most of them 90% are from the data. I have only checked what the grandmasters play and what is the idea, and I have accumulated. And about 15-20% is my analysis. What says it is hard to survive without opening. Actually, I do not agree with this. I do not agree because I am showing you method of playing against Paulson. Believe me, if you follow this, you will get a good game against a very strong player also. But आगे आपको अच्छा खेलना है. Getting a good position and playing good is two different matter. For example, Rashid Nazmetdinov or Andrew Lilienthal or Ragozin, they were very good players. They did not know so much opening, but they had a feeling for position. In my time in India, Kareem Abdul Jabbar was a very strong player from Nagpur. National A player, very good in end game. He hardly knew theory. Muhammad Hassan, very good player, hardly knew theory. Those players are currently, I think, leaving Rafiq Khan, Mohammad Rafiq Khan from Madhya Pradesh. Very strong player, good in middle game, end game. He used to play D3 in white with white and beating many players. So you do not think that opening is necessary. Opening, you have got only two advantages. Number one, you save time on the clock because you play routine 15 to 18 moves very quickly in 5 minutes time. That means if you make 18 moves in 5 minutes, normally 3 minutes average per move. If you calculate, you are getting 3 minute average Okay, that means instead of 54 minutes, you have made 5 minutes. That means you have saved about 50 minutes on your clock. So you can use that time for middle game and end game. Suppose you save half an hour, it is a very nice thing. आप अगर 15 मूव 10 मिनट में करते हैं तो you get minimum half an hour. तो बहुत अच्छा एडवांटेज है. नंबर 2, that without much thinking you are getting a good position. In my time there was no coach, so I used to follow the games played by Karpo, by Spassky or Fischer. I believe that these positions are good, and many times I even did not know the idea behind the moves, but I was just following blindly the game, and I was getting a good position. But it is important to understand the idea behind each and every move. So your preparation of opening will help you to save time and get a easy position. But even though you do not know, all you need is logical strategy. Just develop castle and control the center. Okay. For example, I will tell you. Okay, I will go. I will divert from the this thing. I already showed you this in the introduction to Sicilian. I already showed e5. Here nb5 d6 knight d5. Takes, takes. Now, this is not so good because after c4, queen a4 is coming. So you have to play again knight coming here or knight coming here. So more correct is knight b8 is the main line. And after that c4, a6, knight c3. Now, Tal versus Cheskosky. Cheskosky played the correct move, b7. And after b2, castle. And after castle, he played f5. And now he played g6, bf6, b7. So Ivanovich said, ये बिशप को क्यों? Why bishop has to move like 3 times? अभी g6 करो, bishop f6. He said direct bishop. The defect is that the way the opening has to be played. Now you know that this is the correct approach. But if you play g6, this is what Ivanovich did. He said g6. It is a first move in the wrong direction. Now after b2, bg7. Now castle. Now castle. No, he played nd7 first here because he's worried about the break. He's worried about the break quickly. nd7. Now castle. Now bishop g7. Now everything changed. Now all of a sudden this move order. Now in this move order he suffered. Tal Chaskowski he had played b7. Now this weakness. So he took the initiative. All of a sudden the position is bad. I mean black has to go back, which is not really worth it. You cannot give odd of 2 moves. आप 2 मूव का ऑड नहीं दे सकते. That means after knight e4, you play queen here. I will play this is queen a4. Idea queen a3. Bad move for black. And if you play queen e7, the same thing. I will play now queen b3. Now no, queen a4. Now queen a4. And now if you castle queen b4. This is just I discussed all this. This is plus. Because I know the opening, it is very easy for me to throw the move. It is very pleasant. It is very pleasant to play something which you know already. But if I do not know, then I will start thinking here what to do. I will start thinking what to do. This is the problem. That lot of time goes searching for correct move, and you may not get the correct. But I will tell you, very strong players or a player who has been playing continuously, he will find out good moves quickly. Okay, the question Ramakrishna's they play a6. I will tell you. White Bogulzubov, black Alekhine. D4, Alekhine played C5. Now, if white wants open game, white can play E4 and pawn takes Sicilian, it is transposition. These are bad moves. I cannot take it, but this is bad. I'll play C3, just enough for good. Just castle also quickly. So this will Sicilian. Now the correct move is D5. And after that, white gets better game. Knight F6, knight C3. White gets a good game. This is a good position. But Alekhine playing C5, Alekhine black won the game. Now, next day, Alekhine wrote in the press the analysis. Alekhine said, as a world champion, I have no right to play a move like C5. C5. I would say dubious, not question mark. I would say, he says, people follow world champion. Players follow world champion. So you should not make a move that is bad and people will start playing it. So this is corrupting the younger generation. Alekhine admitted that this is a bad move. I have no right to play a bad move as a world champion. Okay, this is the part of the story. Joe Gallagher, a grandmaster from maybe Switzerland, he played with Korchnoi and he played A6. King's Indian defense A6. Then Korchnoi beat him. Next morning on the breakfast table, he saw Korchnoi, sir, what was my mistake? Korchnoi said your move A6 was a mistake. Then Gallagher went running to his hotel room, brought the book. So this is Sir Kasparov has played this, and you are telling bad. World champion has played A6. Now Korchnoi said that Alekhine was honest to write next day. It is a bad move. I have no right to play a bad move as a world champion. But Kasparov did not write, and he had followers. He had followers. So it is psychology, pure psychology, trying to deviate the opponent from a preparation. That and also psychofear. What is the idea? What is he trying to do? So do not follow a bad move played by a grandmaster also. For example, I give one more example. E4, E5, knight F3, knight C6, BB5, bishop A4, knight F6, castle, BE7. Now he wants to take that. So rook E1. Now white wants to take it and take the E5 pawn. So B5. Now castle. Now C3, D5. So this is the Marshall Gambit. Very well known. Everybody knows. So take. No. Sorry. I take knight into pawn. Knight into, rook into. Now C6. Now D4. Bishop D6. Rook E1. Queen H4. G3. Queen H. Now rook E4. Article was written. RE4 with the idea rook coming here with a counter attack. Petrosian read the book and he went and quickly played in tournament hall. Suddenly, opponent played G5. Now rook is not coming. He cannot take the pawn. Now rook E4 is stopped and he cannot take the pawn. He cannot take the pawn. Queen F5 एक piece चला गया. He cannot take it. Now the attack comes. Black attack is coming. However, I will tell you, there has been a revival of the whole variation. Whole variation is revived now. For example, you need not take the pawn. You can play queen e2. Queen e2. Now f5 is bad. F5 bad move because I can take bishop takes knight and then rook e2. Rook e6. You cannot take that. A piece is lost. So I will have time to bring my knight. So this is how the modern players, I guess, Jula Sachs, a Hungarian player, Judith Polgar, they have found this, they improved this variation with queen e2. But this is bad. And Petrosian lost the game. Black was Avarbak. Black was Yuri Avarbak, I guess so. So after that Petrosian said, do not trust a book. Do not trust book or analysis of somebody. You have to analyze and satisfy yourself. I played when I was an active player till 1990. I was an active player. After that, I completely lost interest in playing serious chess. Okay, I became a coach or organizer or whatever. But I played a game with Sergei Diviako. I blindly followed the analysis of information. That was in those days the only source of chess theory, chess information was from chess information. There was no chess base. So we were getting that book 6 months late. By it was coming by ship. So those people were rich. They were getting by air. It was costing double. If you bring it by air freight, the cost was double. So we were getting the ship, and it was. I followed the analysis. Informator 64 or something. I guess the game is there in the informator. So I blindly followed and accepted a pawn. I gave a pawn and I lost the game. I asked Ibiako. He said it is all rubbish analysis. So you don't trust a book. You have to examine yourself. So A6 move that Kasparov played it, that Gallagher played because he followed Kasparov, which is bad. Don't follow bad moves played by players. Yeah. So I go to the next game. I want to finish this. I guess I will finish this. So knight c6. Now you can take it also, and you need not take it. This is a recommendation. Now don't retreat. You can play also bishop here. This is also a possibility. You can also play b3. Modern player they play b3 also, not allowing a bishop should come. So this is possible, but I recommend take and play castle. White is better. White is better. Now you can play c4, follow the Petrosian, Fischer Petrosian type of game, or this is also simple plus plus. You cannot accept that pawn. Whatever bishop g5 is coming now. Now bg5 is coming. So d5, white is better. You play knight f5, bf5 is killing. Queen coming also killing. Red thread plus minus. So ये भी खराब है. But I would rather take and play c4. That is also plus. दो ही लाइन बचा है और कर देते हैं. So it's stopping e5. So now nd2. Now b3, bb2 and e5. White is anyway better now. Okay, this sort of moves temporarily stopping, but here in this case f4 again I will prepare. So this is not really working. So he plays here e5. Threat. There is another plan also you can do. You can also, I will show you a game of Hot maybe in the afternoon session, because in this kind of weakness, how Hot was punished systematically. Necessary plus. कुछ नहीं होगा. Exchange दे देंगे for the attack. I don't want to play passively. I will give the exchange and winning the game. Knight check, rook into. The position is bad. The white black king is caught in the center. So he will not wriggle out of it. He cannot wriggle out. E5 को क्वीन E5 चेक बचाओ, कैसा बचाएगा क्वीन E5 चेक? Now G6 is losing, and now queen E3 is also losing. Okay, probably the strongest move is best defense is queen E3. So what I will do now, simple queen G5 is enough. I would say queen G5 is simply enough. Idea queen G7, idea bishop F4, killing. This would be enough. This would be enough. So, and if you play queen D4, the check is coming. Rook check is coming. Attack will follow. So this is just a bad for the exchange. That means you cannot do stop with the queen also. ये भी गलत होगा. Okay. D6 को F4 आ रहा है. The whole position knight into take castle. White stands better. B3 BB2 plus. I will show the game today because now only I will show. Otherwise I may forget. So here next game. ना दो वेरिएशन बचा, एक ही दो वेरिएशन. So NC6. This is also plus. If you play other way, I showed you now last this one. I showed you this. If you take other way also, it is bad. Not immediate E5. The queen A5 check is coming. So ND2 threatening to play E5 plus. Idea queen G5. Idea queen C3. Very well played. Idea E5. You take. White is plus. E5 point को support करो. Finally succumb. He cannot double up otherwise. Bishop is unable to come. So he succumbed to pressure. Queen exchange is bad. Take and bishop D6. Plus. F7 under cracking. So एक ही variation है. Then I'll show one game of Galler Hot. This is a line. I will tell you. Kolhapur, some player was playing. Probably at WFM, Rucha Pujari was playing this a lot. This you cannot take that pawn. That is risky business. This is very risky business. Threat आ गया. So you cannot do that. So here bishop c5, just knight d2. I am still inviting him to take the pawn. Intermediary move. An intermediary move. Plus. Taking the pawn will spoil the castle chance. You have to take the pawn, but then the castle chance will be spoiled. Knight check is unstoppable. Now knight e7, knight check is coming, and bishop takes e3, pawn into e3. Now you cannot control the d6. The rook is coming, queen is coming. So badly placed queen. It is a bad position already. Already bad. Finish. Only move, rather only move. कोई rook f8 वगैरह नहीं चलेगा. So थ्रेट बचाओ. अभी G6 करेंगे तो क्वीन G5 में खत्म हो जाएगा. Queen G5 check finish. So the only move. Now you take or not take. It is lost. Now knight into pawn into with the mating attack. Finish. There are many simple moves. You can play also king h1 and e4. Open up. But when there is gold, why go for tamba? When you got a gold medal, ब्रॉन्ज के लिए क्यों जाएंगे? इतना स्लो क्यों खेलेंगे? सीधा सीधा मारो. खत्म हो गया. What a game. ऊपर आएगा तो मेटिंग नेट में आ जाएगा, नीचे गया तो मेट, ऊपर आया तो भी मेटिंग नेट। किंग F8, क्वीन F6 मेट, ऊपर आया तो मे बी क्वीन चेक, रूक चेक सब वगैरह आएगा, C4 में मेट हो जाएगा। So here I will show you one game to end up. Though time is running out, I will still show the game Gellerhorn. A model game will really help you to broaden your understanding. अरे यार Gellerhorn नहीं है इसमें, अरे इसमें जाना पड़ेगा। ये भी नहीं है, तो इसका मतलब मुझे गैलर के जाना है। हॉरिबल। हॉट। जी, it's in Geller, no? Yeah, I guess this is the game. I guess this is the game I'm talking. इसको clipboard में ले लो. I don't want to search again. Okay, just see how he exploited the weaknesses. A very instructive game. Castle. Now, idea I want to play. Same strategy. I want to play E5 now. So, if you castle E5 and take, then lot of pawn weakness. So, you have to stop. Now, you can see weak square, weak pawn, and it is a target. The squares are weak. So, slowly and steadily, prophylactic move, sudden checks. So, you don't have to count. Modern players don't play like this. Modern player and engine will not recommend king H1. They will find only calculate every diagram, knight C4, queen coming. So, prophylactic move. Now, knight C4. Pawn attack. You cannot play. The rook into F6 will come. Rook F6. Now, he is making a target. Excellent move. With the idea, I want to bring the queen or queen. Then this pawn. Threat. बचाओ बचाओ भाई, वो दूसरा दूसरा मूव है ही नहीं, ओनली मूव। व्हाट हैज हैपेंड, वीकनेसेस मेक्स द ओपोनेंट पास। आगे का भी गेम बहुत डिस्ट्रैक्टिव। नाउ स्क्वायर, ND6 स्क्वायर, ND6 तो बचाओ, आ गया तो खत्म हो जाए, चारों तरफ देखेगा तो बचाया, बोले तो अभी आया। नाउ आई स्विच, व्हेन द ऑल पीसेस आर टाइट डाउन ऑन द क्वीन साइड, ये सब बेकार पड़ा हुआ है, इसका ख्याल कौन करेगा? नॉर्मली इन जनरल किंग के पास एक गार्ड चाहिए। नॉर्मली ए नाइट शुड हैव बीन देयर, ए बिशप शुड हैव बीन देयर, कौन सा गार्ड है? सो द किंग इज इन ट्रबल। सो क्वीन आया, भाई क्वीन कहाँ आया, अभी इसका क्या करोगे? हाँ, क्यों आया? वापस जाओ। न्यू वीकनेस, नाउ न्यू वीकनेसेस कम। मारो। ओ, मारने को डर गया, मारे मारेगा। बिशप चेक एंड बिशप इनटू E6 एंड बिशप इनटू, और किंग गोस बैक 5। सो वापस गए। नाउ ही हिलता नहीं है, अभी ये बैड है, ये बैड है, ये बैड है, ये टारगेट, ये हिलता नहीं है, ये हिलता नहीं है। It is like a too much of pressure. Because of the weaknesses, pieces are tied down. So हार्ड अटैक मार के कौन मारेगा? एक्चुअली मारना नहीं, चेस में थ्रेट इज स्ट्रॉन्गर देन एजुकेशन, सिर्फ डराना है। हम स्कूल में पढ़ते थे, सार सबक निकलने से बस हो गया, मारने का जरूरत नहीं है, हो गया। अभी हिलना नहीं है, कौन मारेगा नहीं, हो गया ही सकम, वो थक गया डिफेंड करते करते, कौन दिया खाएगा और जीते। अभी देयर इज वन मोर कौन इज फॉलिंग, डिजाइन। Yes, I will do 50 to 200. So you can see this is a good model game. Geller Hot exploiting so many pawn weaknesses, weak squares. So I will leave Paulson, but I will come to the afternoon session with Taimano. आपको afternoon session में I will show Taimano. E4, C5, knight F3, knight C6. No, D4, N3, E6, D4, and this. The point is I can't play bishop D3. So far, I have been showing you A6 BD3, but in the variation, I cannot show you this BD3. So I will discuss how to handle against this Taimano. Okay, you are not a fan of opening. Basically, you can practice middle game, end game, but you cannot do without opening. You need not prepare opening, but you must understand the idea in opening because you are getting ready for a middle game. So I don't have now current knowledge. I don't have the knowledge of current theory. So when I play in a tournament, somebody playing a Nasdaq, I don't want to know what was played yesterday. So I play old variation. Even though I know lot of theory, maybe I know better than my opponent, but who knows? उसने कल कंप्यूटर में कुछ गेम देख के आया होगा. So it is better that you understand the idea instead of knowing preparing theory, idea behind the books. So there are some basic books. I like Contemporary Chess Approach to the Opening by Alexis Rutin. Even for intermediate player, I don't know. Raymond King had written a book. Maybe I read somewhere in 35, 40 years back. It is a simple book. It is not bad. And his book, Gary Kasparov and Raymond King, Dashboard Chess Opening, Volume 2. It is a simple book. Simple book. It is good. Edward Gufford, Encyclopedia of Chess Opening, small booklet, pocket book. It is a good book. Okay. Then Pocket Book of Chess Encyclopedia by Jonathan Spillman. A small book, but good. But I would say you need not prepare the opening, but you need to know the ideas. Without knowing the idea, you cannot play. So anyway, thank you very much. Take care. I'll see you at 2:30.